I know we are constrained for time because the honorable dignitaries have also to participate in a university convocation. Therefore, I will try to keep it very brief. Esteemed dignitaries on and off the dais, distinguished participants, ladies and gentlemen. The core theme of the conference, that is mediation, couldn't be more apt in the circumstances in which we are faced today, when the courts in the country are facing an avalanche of cases that have descended upon them. The fact that two of the honorable judges of the Supreme Court, as also the presence of the Honorable Chief Minister on the dais, suggests the importance and relevance of the issue that the courts are being confronted with on a daily basis. As we all know that the Chief Justice of India heads the judiciary of the largest democracy in the world, with a population of 1.4 billion approximately. So the concern in their mind to deal and cope with this situation is uppermost, and that is how all of us gather here to hear the valuable thoughts on the issue. Now, the reasons for the delay in courts primarily is attributed to the inadequate judges to case ratio. If you recollect that there was a report submitted by the Committee of Judges of the Honorable Supreme Court that prescribed a particular ratio, and that was approximately one judge to every 600 or 800 cases. We did an assessment study in our courts here in Andhra Pradesh, and as against 650 judges that we have approximately today in Andhra Pradesh, we found that we require another 850 judges. Now, if this could translate in terms of monetary implication, it would run into 1,000 and more than thousands of crores. Therefore, the need to look at alternatives. And one of the alternatives, as is suggested by the basic framework, was in Section 89 of the Civil Procedure Code, followed by now the Mediation Act of 2023, which has not fully been implemented. Now, we have done our part in undertaking a training of mediators. We trained about 1,400 mediators in the entire state. The attempt to train more than 800 more by December 2025 is what we aim at. We aim to take the mediation movement to the taluka level, where we have identified approximately 63 new premises. Our biggest handicap today is that we do not have adequate premises where we can have people come to identified mediation centers. We have identified for the time being 63, and we, with the help of the government, aim to have some more infrastructure on this. Now, generally the perception is that whenever advocates come to handle a case, the resolution is delayed. But the presence of advocates, senior advocates, designated senior advocates from all across the country certainly belies that perception. Now, while we are training mediators, the biggest challenge today, what I feel, is that a 40-hour training in mediation skills may not be itself enough. Now, the question is that when a case gets referred for mediation by the court, now we have a panel of mediators. The mediators are seen on the basis of their training, but there is no audit as to what is their capacity. Just imagine to trust, say, graduate who is freshly graduated from a law college and entrust a case to him saying that you now handle it is difficult. So his ability to handle a case and to nudge and navigate the parties to an amicable resolution of dispute is something which we cannot expect from a mediator only because of the fact that he has undergone a training of 40 hours. Now the question therefore is, with a view to avoid that golden opportunity which the court gets when it refers the matter to the mediator, that opportunity should not be lost because of the incapacity of the mediator, because there is no method of judging his skill. Therefore, there has to be some mechanism, some certification, some standardized method of determining as to whether the case which is being handed over to him will see some successful fruition or not. That is one aspect of training and skill development, which is most important in my mind. Second is integrity. Now, we have all seen that arbitration was a success. Many judges, retired judges, bureaucrats took to arbitration because it was lucrative. Today, the situation is that while we are seeing this as assuming a movement in the country under the able guidance and leadership of our honorable judges in the Supreme Court, we cannot permit everyone and anybody who volunteers to undergo the training and then come forward. As we have seen in the arbitration world, if there are honest arbitrators, there are also dishonest ones. If there is a demand for honest arbitrators, there is a greater demand for dishonest arbitrators, especially those appointed by, nominated by the parties. Therefore, some sort of a mechanism must be developed so that it is not a free-for-all. I know that there is a time constraint, therefore I hope that the deliberations of this conference help build a system of justice that heals, that restores, and that empowers our people and our economy to move forward. Thank you very much.